Feeling good. Who asked that?
Right here.
Oh, yeah. Feeling good. Yeah, feeling ready.
Another opportunity here. This time it's against a top 10 opponent. What are the pressures, but also the confidence going into this bout.
I feel really confident. I feel like I have all the tools I need to beat an opponent like her. I feel like she's still green. She's still um, just becoming the best version that she can be, but so am I, and I have a lot more experience on her. So I feel like I can capitalize on that.
Congrats on the contract renewal. When you have something like that, how has your confidence grown over the last few weeks since then?
It definitely grows because a lot of fighters don't get that opportunity. A lot of people who I would say are better fighters than me don't get that opportunity. So I'm happy that the company sees worth in me. They see that I'm exciting, that I put on a show, that I'm still improving, I haven't stagnated, and I feel like I could get to the top. I just have to stay focused on the fight in front of me, and I feel like if I'm mentally there, then physically I have all the skills I need to become one of the best fighters in the strawweight division.
What excites you most about this matchup this upcoming Saturday?
Um, I try not to get too excited because everyone is a different fighter when you step in the cage. But I do feel like there are areas that I can expose their greenness. I think people have kind of cracked that puzzle already, and I feel like I improve every time I fight. So I'm just looking forward to being able to do the stuff that I've been working on, and it's always something different. Every fight camp, I'm always trying to add different wrinkles to my game. So I think I can do it this week.
What should the Angela Hill fans expect from you Saturday? You're saying you're adding new wrinkles to the game and everything. I know you don't want to exploit everything, but what can they expect?
I don't know, same thing you always see, but different versions of it. I'm smashing all the buttons right now. I'm a striker. I'm not just, oh, I'm gonna wrestle. I'm doing whatever presents itself. So see me. You can expect to see me going for broke and trying to get an emphatic win.
Inside the, excuse me, let me back up. Going to Instagram, I had seen something that you had posted, and I hadn't seen anything official about it outside of your post here. But you'd mentioned that you're going to be fighting these custom Barney Hill Junior spawn shorts. Tell me a little bit about that. What's going on with that?
Yeah, Barney Hill Jr., that's my grandfather. He was one of the most famous alien abduction cases. So I thought it'd be funny to make up a pair of custom shorts that reflected that. And so far, I haven't gotten any word for Venom, but I think they're interested. So I'm gonna keep shopping for that opportunity. But honestly, I feel like everyone should be allowed to have custom shorts, especially if you're in the bracket where you're making the most promotional money because you've fought the most or fought over 20 times in the UFC. I feel like that should be the cutoff. Okay, you've fought over 25 or over 20 times. Here's your shorts.
Interesting that you mentioned, the longevity and everything like that. Being from when you started in MMA to seeing where it's grown now, not only just the sport itself, but women's MMA and being a trailblazer like that. How has it been to not only be a role model but a trailblazer to younger women mixed martial artists?
It's definitely cool. Like when I think of my future in the sport, I feel like there's always going to be a place for me just because of that history that's already been made. But I also feel like um, I have a lot more to do. So it's one of those things where I love that people look up to me and I love that people give me props for doing this and that. But I'm just like, I'm not done yet.
Thank you for taking the time. Whether it be a monster can or a drip can, you've had the drip. You've been a monster in there. Had the style, the sauce. One day, can you just do like a compilation of all your different looks, the different hairstyles? Because you always come correct for media day. Let me just say.
Thank
that.
you.
Welcome,
Appreciate it. Appreciate the appreciation.
Of course, we have to acknowledge you. And it would be kind of like what you were talking about with Wyatt. If that was the minimum of like 20 plus fights to get the custom shorts, I mean, it wouldn't be too many people having custom shorts. And it would be a beautiful, like a bucket list to say, like, look, man, I got these shorts mean 20 fights in the game. So you got to respect that. And you have these vets in here, respectfully, and royalty such as yourself from all the Ultimate Fighter 20 to now, been there, done that. What's still on the bucket list? Because we just saw Neil Magny get his black belt and get the 23 wins to be there with Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, Andrei Arlovsky. What do you possibly still have on the to-do list, please?
I want to crack the top 5. I think that's a big one for me. I think this is, having this fight in front of me, it gives me that opportunity. I had that opportunity with the Pinheiro fight, but one loss took me out of there so quick. So it's one of those things where every fight I have to be focused on that fight. And if anything, a streak will get you up there. So, like, this is the first step to having a streak, is getting another win. I think that would be a huge mark for me. And I'm not going to make that the ceiling, but it's like an initial goal that's really obtainable right now that I can focus on. After this, I definitely want to have my own gym. I definitely want to have a group of people that I train and people who I help get to that next step and get to the big show and all that stuff. I feel like I have a lot of experience and I know all the do's and don'ts, or at least a lot of them. So yeah, I'm focused on the future. I feel like it's gonna be bright for me. I feel like I'll still be able to be in the MMA world for a long time, even after I stop fighting. So yeah, there's a lot on the bucket list. I still want to get my head kick knockout. I still want to get a few more subs. There's a few that I hit in the gym a lot that I haven't been able to get in the octagon yet, but I got my one, so that one I could cross off the list.
And you know what? I love this idea because some of you guys and gals have so much game that I practically beg fighters, say like, man, for sure get a seat at the table, do some commentary, do some play-by-play, open up that gym. So let's speak it into existence. What would the name of your gym be, and where would it be at? One day, where is that going to be the spot where we could train?
Definitely San Diego. I love it out there, and it's perfect weather every time of the year for training. So you can have a full year fight camp. It's like training in Thailand, only without the humidity. So it'd be out there. Right now, we're kind of doing the so-called Fight Collective. Like, that's kind of our unofficial name for our gym.
Fight Collective?
Yeah, Fight Collective. It's kind of like the same idea that Alliance MMA had when it was still going strong. We had an open door policy where you can have people coming from different gyms who have different methods and stuff, and they get to train with you, and you're all at a high level and pushing each other, and just the quality of the room brought up all the fighters, especially ones that were there. So that's kind of my idea going into this, and definitely it would be very female friendly because it's something that we need in the MMA world, more female friendly areas to improve our game. And yeah, that's the goal.
That's perfect. Honestly, just sign me up, because when you hear about the great vibe at Extreme Couture, the awesome energy at Syndicate, where people can put in work and not be like, oh, I don't know if it's going to be okay, but they are. And iron, I know it's so cliche, right? But the iron sharpens iron, and everybody walks away leveling up.
Yeah.
And then the icing on the cake here would be, for sure, female friendly, because we don't have too many of those gyms. So it would be cutting edge for someone who was cutting edge to say, like, look, I've been there, done that, and it wasn't the easiest experience. So if you want to come, I can save you some time and get you there. It would for sure be you. Who else would be a better candidate?
I don't know. I mean, I've never had anything handed to me. My first unofficial fight in UFC was against Carlos Esparza on Tough, So I definitely feel like I know the hard work that it takes. I know the dedication, the mental fortitude, like all those things that it takes to just have a career in MMA. And it's like, whether or not you become champion, like the main goal is to dedicate your life to the sport and make a difference. And I feel like I've done that already. So if I could give other fighters who are passionate that opportunity, I'd die a happy person.
That'd be amazing. And what a great legacy. Last one for me. We just talked to your opponent, who's healthy, ready. She mentioned something about an infection, so she's 100%. On her last fight. The last fight was an infection. No, this one. My mistake. So the last fight, she had the infection.
Oh, okay.
Not a good look. Here, she's 100% ready for you and locked in. So now we got somebody who's really looking at you, trying to get you out of their way. Does this kind of make it everybody levels up and make it that much more of a potential barn burner, fight of the night, classic Angie Hill fight?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the fact that she's blaming her performance on something that wasn't just her performance. Uh, I've had about 20 something fights, and I've had infections that, like, I had to be on antibiotics for those fight camps. And, you got to look past that. You have to look at, okay, these were the circumstances, but what could I have done to be better or to still get that win? But yeah, I think if she's coming in with that confidence, if she's coming in knowing that or thinking that she's better than me, that's just gonna work in my favor too. I'm relying on that confidence to give me my openings and to allow me to do my little sneaky veteran moves on her. So I'm excited for sure.
Man, can't wait to see it. And good luck on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Thanks.
Angela over here. You recently said that, you could potentially be right there for a title shot with a win over someone like Iasmin Lucindo. And I think when you look at the landscape of your division, it could potentially be very open, just given how some of the girls have had their shot at the champ and just didn't go their way. So is there anything specific you think you need to do to maybe stand out and maybe, jump ahead of some of these girls? I mean, when we think about that, maybe the UFC trying to go with the Verna Jandiroba route potentially, and then obviously people throw in that super fight with Valentina. So is there something specific you think you need to do to be like, no, hey, give me my shot. I've paid my dues out here. Talk to me about that.
Not really. Like, I feel like just winning is the ultimate battle for me. Just winning more often. Getting finishes is always a way to stand out from the crowd. So that's something that I try to do every time I go out there. I think being exciting is another thing that can make you stand out when you have a division that's full of a lot of maybe heavy grapplers that don't make the fight as exciting especially for the new group of MMA fans that are coming in who want to see brawls. Like they're watching a fight like a Virna Jandiroba fight, and they might think, "Oh, what is this? This is boring." For me, I think it's amazing. I think it's crazy how she's able to control people. I feel like she could have an advantage on the ground for sure against the champ. I don't know if they're gonna go with that route because of the way that the grappling heavy fights aren't as fan friendly as people who just slug it out and give each other hematomas, but they know I'm dumb enough to do that, So I think knowing that I'm the type of person who would get in a brawl if I just sit down and I try to throw with the best of them, I think that can make me stand out for sure. And it's not like it's something I have to train to do. It's just the way I fight. So I think just staying healthy, winning, going for the finish every time I get out there, keeping it exciting, which is something I like to do because I feel like I'm an entertainer more than anything. I think those are things that can make me stand out, but who knows? My ultimate goal is just to get in there and be the best me in this fight against Lucinda.
For sure. And obviously San Diego was brought up with commentary as well. So I just want to ask about your time in the Cage Warriors desk. I know some fighters take on that on Fight Pass across different promotions. So just from your point of view, I know you've been around the game, you have a lot of fights under your belt, but is there anything specific that you may, have learned sitting at the desk, from that point of view compared to, being in the gym training and making the walk to the octagon that could help you for this later part of your career and potentially into your coaching area that you mentioned?
I've definitely watched a lot more fights than I would have at every different level. Like with Cage Warriors, you have people who might have gotten cut from a big show, and so I'm watching them, and they look very composed out there. But then you have other people who are making their amateur or their pro debut, and I'm watching their amateur fights, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, this guy got some work to do. But you definitely have things to learn from watching those fights and just seeing people's tendencies and where some people are able to develop a really good skill at something. And I'll take little notes from that. Like, hey, man, this guy's really good at setting up guillotines. Maybe I'm going to bring that into my game. So it opens your eyes a bit. Whenever you watch tape or take studying into your own hand and you don't just rely on the coaches. I think every fighter should do that because it gives you your own ideas of how you want to fight or who you want to mimic, or you see what works that you really liked that you thought looked cool, and then you could bring it into your own like training. Or I've suggested a lot of stuff to like my grappler girlfriends who are like, oh, I like throwing this kick, and I'm like, ooh, I saw this clip, and I'll send them the clip, and then they get excited about that kick. And yeah, just studying in general makes you a better fighter for sure.